Hey everybody, this is Kristen Fagan here with a new episode of Free Spirit Beading on Softlex Company's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Hello, how's everyone doing out there? I have a fun fall-inspired necklace design to share with you today. It's a collective mix from my supplies. I started with wanting to use these sweet little owl beads. They are like a gasfiat green with a copper wash, and they're Czech Glass. We've got them over at softlexcompany.com. And so they were my inspiration. And then I pulled together some fun things that I had from the softlexcompany.com website, and then also some fun things that were in my stash. I have some goodies from Green Girl Studios, and I'm using some capture chain from SilverSilk More today. So that's going to be fun. Hello. And I think we're actually live on the Softlex Company Facebook page, YouTube channel, as well as in the Great Bead Extravaganza today. So hello, everybody over there. We don't always go live into the Great Bead Extravaganza group, just depending on what it is we're working on. But since I've got some goodies from our TGBE friends, Nile and Cynthia, I thought, why not share, right? Why not share the fun? So we're going to be using some standard tools. I've got some cutters, some pliers, my magical crimping pliers for crimping, and we're going to be using Softlex Metallics beading wire in our copper color. Hello, everybody. So many of you are joining me already. Good to see you. Hi, Lydia. Lydia, I have your order. Thank you for grabbing some art, and I'm going to be shipping things out this week. So I was hoping you'd be on here so I could give you an update since I've been in the throes of cleaning my studio and really downsizing big time. Finally feeling like a weight has been lifted this weekend. I spent 7 days, basically. I spent every day last week getting rid of a little bit of stuff in here. This is the biggest area of my house, right? The art and beading studio. This is where the most stuff is hidden. So I spent a bunch of time doing that. And then this weekend, I even got rid of a couple of organizers. You see, I have some books behind me on this side. A whole bookshelf. That's actually my son Ethan's stuff. I let him move more things into this space because he uses it too for his computer work. And that just shows you how much I shrunk everything down. Pretty crazy. Damien is out today. I do have Thomas hanging out in the background helping us. Thank you, Thomas, for being here. And I am Kim. I'm going to have a home away from home. So I will still be here, but I'll also be in Hawaii part of the time. So I'm really kind of scaling things down, trying to figure out what I'm moving with me and what's staying here. And countdown is on. 10 days to go. So, but I feel so much better now that this area has been taken care of, because this for sure is the biggest area. It's bigger than my closet. It's bigger than everything. Bigger than my kitchen. It's the biggest spot in the house in terms of what I've got, like stuff wise, right? No, Mondays are still going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I will just be earlier. You might see me in my PJs more often. Just kidding, but maybe not. We'll see. But I'll be earlier. You guys will stay the same. This way, depending on whether I'm here or in Arizona or in Hawaii, it'll always be the same time for everyone watching, Pacific time. Yeah, PJs are perfect for island broadcasting. Yep, beads and coffee, totally. I see a bunch of you are using the hashtag owl already. That's awesome. We have a giveaway happening during this video. We're going to give away a strand of these owls that I'll be using today. So go ahead and comment with hashtag owl. Owl love you, Cecilia. And we'll get a strand of those out to the winner. We'll have one winner at the end of the video. You must be here at the end to win. And if you're not in the comments letting me know you're here, we give you a few minutes to respond. Otherwise, we move on and we'll choose another winner, and the first person will forfeit their prize. Kelly's watching in her PJs right now as it's the night in the UK. Yay for PJs and beading. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm going to talk about for a second what we've got going on at SilverSilkMore.com. Right now, we've got spend $99 or more and get a free Gone Batty design kit. This is our Halloween mystery kit. It's going to be opened and revealed at the end of September. And right now we are about 70% sold out of them. You can go shop at SilverSilkMore.com. And if you are a retail customer, this will automatically show up in your cart after you have reached a subtotal of $99 or more. It's not valid with any other order discounts, and it ends September 10th, which is tomorrow at midnight Pacific time or while supplies last, whichever comes first. And yeah, we don't have a live sale this week, so I just want to get that note out there. We're taking this week off for some office issues that we've got going on, and we will be back the following week. So just a note that we will not have a live sale on Thursday, but we'll be back next week, which is actually, oh my gosh, is next week Customer Appreciation Week? We'll have an epic live sale for Customer Appreciation Week. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the Customer Appreciation Week webpage over at SilverSilkMore.com. You can see the link right across the top navigation under our logo, and you can get all the details for what Customer Appreciation Week is and everyone that is participating. Here's a little snapshot. These are all of your presenters. We've got Cassandra Spicer, Rebecca Combs, Abby Berta, Kate Goss, Nilay Patel, Elena Kowalski, Sam and Shira, Danielle Wicks, and then Sarah, Joyce, and myself, all hanging out with you during Customer Appreciation Week. Here's a little bit of what the schedule looks like. We will have 3 videos a day happening beginning on Monday, September 16th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and 2 videos on Thursday because there's that epic live sale that will be happening on Thursday afternoon. So I hope you'll join us and go check out the webpage. You'll see all of the goodies that all the other presenters have put together. I know a few kits have sold out. Danielle Wicks is sold out. I think Nilay was really close to it. And Nilay has a pop-up shop that he put together in relation to it as well. So if you missed the kit, I think he's got some things in the pop-up shop. And then all the other presenters, I believe, still have kits. However, they might be getting low on certain colors. Really, really cool. Yeah, great lineup. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's happening next week, right? Yeah, today's the 9th. Oh my gosh. Crazy. It's going to be fun. And I will be broadcasting from Hawaii on Friday. Hopefully all goes well for me and I don't have any tech issues as I get set up in a new place. All right, so here's my beading table. We're going to be using the copper color of metallic Softflex beading wire. This is our medium diameter, the 0.019. Beautiful color. You can find it in 10-foot, 30-foot, and 100-foot spools over at SilverSilkMore.com in our beading wire category. It's stainless steel beading wire, has a micro braided proprietary braid, it has the copper color coating on top, and then it has a nylon coating on top of that to keep it protected. Really easy to work with, and it won't tarnish or fade or flake or anything like that, right? Then I've got some copper. This might be antique copper capture chain from SilverSilk and More. We don't sell this on our website, but you can check out silversilkandmoreonline.com and go grab some capture chain over there. I'm also going to be using the little end pieces that are at SilverSilk and More's website as well. They clip onto the crimp on. You sort of squeeze them onto your chain, and that will be my little finding. So we'll be using that. And then I've got these adorable owls. Look at them. They're so cute. I love this colorway too. I can't believe we still have this one. We had a bunch of different colors, but this one is super fall and so my jam. It's got like a green base, green Gaspiate base, and then it's got this copper wash on top. Super cool. So we'll be using those. You can find them at softluxcompany.com, and they're actually on closeout sale too. So you'll get a little discount on these babies right now while supplies last. And then I've got these beautiful yellow turquoise. I've never used yellow turquoise before. And I thought it went really well with those owls because there's a little tiny bit of green that peeks out. And I would say this, I'm like, this feels more like a yellow-green turquoise to me because it does have a lot of that limey green kind of color. Really fun for fall. And these two items are in our holidays category for Halloween. I know, question mark, Maria. I don't know much about it. All I know is that that's what it says. Yellow turquoise polished rounds. Interesting, right? And it's kind of more on the green side, in my opinion. So if you're a green lover like me, especially these like rich olivey, earthy greens, it's almost like a moss, something like that. You'll love it. It's a cool strand. I've wanted, and you get a really big strand because I've used a bunch of them already and I still have a lot left. I don't know how long this was, but it's a nice long strand. I have some gold jump rings here that I'm going to use. I have these little spacer beads. We had these a million years ago. I still had a few left. They're like an antique copper nugget looking spacer bead. We don't sell them anymore. They've been out of stock for a while, but if you have a little antique copper or even a bright copper spacer, that would work in this design. I also have these, which are from my stash and not something we ever sold at Softlex, but they're like an Oriental gold-plated bead. And I liked the color of them, the match with my pendant, which I'll show you in just a second. So I've got a couple of those we're going to use. It's kind of an eclectic design. I always like doing some of these fun, eclectic, like check out my bead stash and see what I've got. This is a little, I don't know if it was Tibetan. It looks like a Tibetan bead for me. I've got two of them, so I'm going to use them as some accent beads in my piece. You see stuff like this in our live sale. And what else? Okay, so the last two things I have here are a component I made with craft wire. This is using the antique copper color, and it feels like 18 gauge. I also made a similar component in our vintage bronze color. This one feels like 20 gauge. It's a little bit softer. and you can do it either way. I have a video on how to make these. I made them with some earrings a while back. So they were a craft wire earring, and I think I used the square wire with it, but I showed how to make this little shape. And then last but certainly not least, I have this gorgeous owl pendant from Green Girl Studios in, I don't know if this was brass. I picked this up from Cynthia when I saw her a couple of years ago when I visited Pennsylvania. And so cool. And I totally forgot about it. And as I was messing through all my stuff this morning to see what kind of things I wanted to pull together, there it was. And I thought, oh, how perfect. So I'm going to add that as my focal. I strung up one side already. So let me show you what I kind of did. I have a little copper component there, and then I have those yellow turquoise with those antique copper spacer beads. Then I move into one of those little rectangle kind of, I don't know what they're called. It almost reminds me, I don't know what that shape is. It's kind of like a hexagon, but longer, more rectangle. Then we've got that owl in there. Back to those turquoise. And then we have that accent bead in there, back to the turquoise again. And lastly, I connected it to one half of my capture chain. So I'm going to make it long enough so that I don't have to put a clasp on it. And I'm going to cut free some of my wire here so that I can work on the other side. And first thing I have to do is take these off because I added that component in there at the last minute. So this is just a fun little spacer bead that I found, and it's got a little, kind of a little flat on one side, but it goes out on the other. So I think I'm going to put that just right next to my pendant here. And it just gives a little bit of copper and a little bit of that fun texture right at the pendant. And then I'm just going to string up my beads. So I've got my green. I keep wanting to say green turquoise, but the tag does say yellow turquoise. So my yellow turquoise, and then these little spacers in between. And I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4 beads, 3 spacers. And then I add one of these gold beads. I come back to that turquoise. Then I'm going to add one of these little copper spacers. And then I'll add my sweet little owl. And I'm going to go bottoms up. Another copper spacer. Another turquoise. And then I'm going to go back to adding one of these gold beads again. Yes, Melissa says this is going to inspire us to create with owls this season. So cute. I actually I linked in the description of the YouTube video two other owl videos that I've done in the past. I did a charm necklace that uses the owls. These same guys, a different color, but these same owls. So you can definitely alternate with these. And then the same thing for a pair of drop earrings using some Czech glass and these owls on the bottom. So they're in the description of the YouTube video. I linked to those two. I'm going to add on this accent bead. And why I added this, well, first of all, I like how it brings like a whole eclectic kind of feel to the piece, but I also like how the little pop of red in there picks up this kind of reddish copper happening in the owl. And I only had two of them in my stash, so I thought, well, they're kind of fun to just throw in as a little accent. And the other design, the charm necklace I was mentioning, that's in the description, the link, the charm necklace with the owls, I have that one sent to the office as a giveaway along with hundreds of other jewelry designs going into the swag bag. So just a little teaser for you that when I was cleaning out my studio, I sent Softlex back, over 100 pieces and said, let's put these in the swag bags. So if you order one of our swag bags, you're going to get a Kristen design surprise in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stacy says, I like that you strung the Czech owls. I only ever thought to make a pendant or earrings. Yeah, I do earrings more often too with them, Stacy. But they're cute strung, right? Especially, I think, like right here, they're going to be like on the sides of your necklace. I think they're adorable. And Sarah did a bracelet, which you can find on our YouTube channel too, that used the owls in a bracelet, and she used them all the way around. So if you want some bracelet inspiration, go check that out. All right, let's see if I kept my pattern okay. Does it look like I'm even here? Because I'm notorious for forgetting beads. Right, Lydia? She usually catches me. It looks like we've got it. Yeah, looks like 12 and 12. Looks like my pattern is good on both sides. Lydia says, looks good. Thanks for the check. Elizabeth says, love the swag bag idea. That should be a hit with everyone. I hope so. Yeah, we have fun doing those swag bags each year. And I was originally going to do a little birthday promotion because my birthday was in August and I thought we would use them then, but I didn't get my act together to send it, to gather all of my jewelry and send it to the office in time. And I thought, oh, let's put them in the swag bags instead. All right, so I have a little crimp that I added here, but before I do that, I'm going to add my bead stopper. Before I do that, I want to add the end to my capture chain. So let's pull this out over here. So this capture chain is super cool knitted wire made by SilverSilk and More. And it's got a ball chain in the center. They come in lots of different colors, and sometimes the ball chain is different than the color of the wire. This one has like an antique copper ball chain, and then it's got the antique copper wire knitted on top. and I snipped it off where I wanted it. So you just, I'll show you on this little extra piece I have here. So all you do is just take your cutters and find the space in between the two balls in the ball chain, and then you would just snip it. And that's how you would cut it off. And you'll get these little tiny pieces of wire that want to kind of fly out. That's normal. Just kind of push them away. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to kind of squeeze around that ball chain so that I get a nice closed wire end. And that's what I did here, is I squeezed around, and I squeezed so much that I have kind of a decent amount of space there. I'm just going to trim that back a little bit. You don't need all of that extra wire. And next, I'm going to go ahead and add on the little end caps. Anne says, how do you get the swag bag? They're not available yet. They'll be available during Customer Appreciation Week next week. So stay tuned on that. I was just giving you a little teaser. So you just slip these right over the end of your capture chain, and then we're going to use our pliers to squeeze it. You can use nylon jaw pliers, or you can use pliers like this that I've got the Tool Magic on top of, and that'll help protect any scratching on the finding. If you don't have it, you can always just use your regular pliers. Just be very careful. You can even tape them if you want to add a little tape around your pliers, like a painter's tape, something like that, to make it a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to make sure my capture chain is smushed all the way in there before I squeeze. And then I'm going to go ahead and close down around it. And then I'm going to come on I'm going to do both sides, the top, front, and the back, and just give lots of squeezes. And then I also like to look at it down the barrel, excuse me, look at it down the barrel this way to make sure that I'm not seeing any extra space there, and it looks nice and connected. Easy peasy. Now I'll come back to this end of the wire where I've got that crimp tube on there, and I'm going to slide my wire through the end of the SilverSilk finding and then back down to make my loop. And our copper crimp tubes can be a little bit more snug. So you'll see I'm using a chain nose plier just to grab my wire and pull it down. They tend to come out a little bit thicker than, let's see here, if I'm going to wear it this way, I wanted to make sure, which of course I didn't do. So on this side, I've got the SilverSilk logo. It has a little etched logo on the front. And then on this side, I ended up attaching it with it on the back. So I'm just going to switch. I'm just going to turn this one around. Now that I got this, I should have looked before I got this all nice and tight. Just little things to try and keep your jewelry design looking consistent, right? Yeah, I pulled that a little too snug before checking, but okay. So now I want to turn it this way so that I've got the SilverSilk logo facing the front. And I'll go back through it and then back through that crimp again. There we go. Now we're good. And then just checking before I crimp anything that I'm got movement in my design and it's not too stiff. So I don't want to get these to be too tight. You want to have a little bit of movement there. Looks good. I'm going to grab my magical crimping pliers and I'm going to go ahead and crimp here. Kim, we don't. You can find the SilverSilk capture chain and any cord ends over at SilverSilk and More online. Thanks for adding that link, Thomas. All right, and it looks like we finished pretty quickly. Look at how fun that is. I like that it's nice and long, especially with this little added component here. So since we finished quickly, I was going to see if I could try and remember how to do this. I haven't done it in a while. Like I said, I do have a video that did it. But let me go ahead and see if I can remember. I think I started here, went around, and then came back around and went that way. So let's see, because it could be a cute way of making little earrings to match. To see what colors I have available. I definitely have vintage bronze. Okay. So these two vintage, this one's vintage bronze, that one's the antique copper. So I'm going to go ahead with the antique copper again, but that's a little bit different variants that you can see. Owltastic. I love that. And this is 18 gauge, which is what I believe that one is. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a bit of this. Grab my nylon jaw pliers and let's see if I remember how to make it. I know Thomas is great. Thank you so much, Thomas. He is always on it. Let's cut about 6 inches and just see. It could be, I can end up with a smaller piece, so that would be fine. But let's just start with 6 inches and see how that goes. So I'm going to start by making a small loop. Ooh, Becky says, I just did a Softflex craft wire restock with all the fall vibes of wire, and I think it just got delivered. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. That's awesome. So we'll start with a little circle And then I'm going to grab my bent nose pliers and I'm just going to start to spiral, but I want to make it kind of a loose spiral. Like I'm not pulling it too close to the center, or at least trying not to. I feel like it's getting a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm out of practice. Maybe we'll stop there. So now what we need to do is grab our round nose pliers again. And let's just see. So if I'm holding it this way, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. I'm going to go around the bottom of my plier and fold it back like that. And I'm actually going to kind of push it a little closer so it touches. It looks like a Tim Burton design choice. Yeah, for sure. Now I'm going to grab another spot really close to where it's just about touching. So I'm going to just get my pliers right in there. And I'm going to move it down my tool. I'm kind of a little more than halfway. The further back you go, the larger the little loop will be. The closer you go to the end, the smaller it'll be. So now I'm going to pull it back and go over the top. Try and not wiggle it so much. And same thing, I want it to, I'm just going to use my fingers to get those closer. There we go. I kind of want them to touch, going back and forth. And then lastly, I'll make my loop at the top here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to kind of go inside that loop that's there, and I'm going to go as close to the edge as I can get. And I'm also going to be closer on to the tip of my pliers this time because I want this loop to be a little bit smaller. And so I'll bring that around, and you can even kind of keep, like this would be more like a regular loop. Switch your plier and keep going till you create that loop there. And then I'll trim it off. Now the tricky part for earrings will be getting it to be exactly the same, right? It might be a good idea, like Becky did with her turtle, is to kind of draw your shape out on a piece of paper. And this way you can get a closer rendition for the two. Well, that was pretty good. A little bit, it's a tinier scale. And then if you want to manipulate it at all, you can kind of just do that with your hands. And then if you need to harden it, you could put it in the wire whacker. You could also just give it some good squeezes with the nylon jaw plier. The wire whacker is awesome if you're going to do a bunch of these at once, and then you could just whack them all. But if you're just doing one or two, you can just squeeze these around, and that'll work harden it for you. That's cute. And it looks like I did it the opposite way here. So I would hang it like that if I wanted to kind of keep the same. That one would be the similar shape like that. Does this size go through the owl? No. So you got to go a size down to go through your owl, or you can use SilverSilk too. So let's go. Let's go to 20 gauge. And now that I look at this, I wonder if this was actually the bare copper that I used originally, because this one's not going to change color, but the bare copper does. The bare copper doesn't have any coating on it. So I have a feeling this might actually be the bare copper. Let's see if I can let's see if I could clean it off at all. Might take a little more elbow grease, but I'm starting to see a little bit of that copper coming through again. So just an FYI, you'll see they're slightly different. This is a little bit brighter and more on the gold side. This one's the antique copper, and it's still kind of bright in comparison. And if this was the bare copper, it would definitely tarnish like that, because that's what it does over time. It patinas. Yes, that fits. So this is the 20 gauge craft wire, and I'll just, that fits right through. Maybe I'll add a little one of these at the bottom. Take my wire up and wrap it around that bead. Becky says, I always do 2 ear wires at the same time. Yes, that is a good idea. I'm trying to wrap it around a few times, but my fingers are not participating as well today. So I'm just going to wrap it around one good time. And then tighten that down. There we go. Then I can add on my little owl. And I'll create a loop here at the top. And I'm going to attach it to, now you could do it either way. You could either attach it at the bottom of your spiral and then do the ear wire up here, or you can attach it that way and then let the ear wire slide around here. I think even though that way matches, your ear wire is going to slide a little bit. So I think I'm going to swap it. And then you could just add your ear wire to the top. How fun is that? So cute. And if you wanted to, you can even swap these if you wanted it to match, but I don't mind it being opposite. For so for this one here, I used 18 gauge. And for this spiral here, I used the 18 gauge. And for the owl head pin, I used 20 gauge. There we go. So we're all set. Now I just have to figure out how to make a second one. But I might take Becky's idea of doing them both at the same time, and maybe I'll just, that's how I end up with a lot of these little extra pieces. Aw, Owl, love you. Isn't this just so cute? So cute. Perfectly fall. All the owls. You can grab these copper wash owls and these yellow, green, in my opinion, yellow, green, turquoise over at softluxcompany.com. And then you can get the capture chain and the little findings at SilverSilk and More. You can grab your craft wire at softluxcompany.com. And you could check out Green Girl Studios. I don't know if they have this one in particular, but they have lots and lots of beautiful beads and pendants. So go check them out. I know they do a lot of live videos too. So if you're not following Green Girl Studios on Facebook or YouTube, you should join them over there, because I think they do like a weekly sale live, and they might have special things in there as well. So let's choose our winner. Last chance to get in there for the owl free giveaway. Use the hashtag owl to enter. And let me go pull that up. Looks like we've got 67 entries as of right now. Thanks, Nancy. Nancy says, such a cute design for the copper connector. Isn't it fun? I love when I get a chance to go through my stash and find like little bits and pieces of past projects that I can give new life to in a different design, right? Good luck, everybody. I'm seeing a bunch of owls coming in. Superbly fantabulous. Thank you, Zach. Sherry's thinking about shrimp cocktail. I obviously missed something. Are you guys talking about Beetlejuice? It's so tweet. Yes, it is. There Sherry goes. I'm giving us a great little subject line again. It's so tweet. And it will look good with anything. I know. I love mixed. I always feel like color things that are mixed metals and give that neutral feel, and could go with so many different things. You're welcome for the inspiration. All right, we got 73 entries. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, yep, it was Beetlejuice you were talking about. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And here we go. Cynthia, yay, Cynthia Harp over on YouTube. Let us know that you were here in the comments. I'll give you a few minutes to respond. Becky says this live was a real hoot. Cynthia is here. Thomas, we're just going to have to just get subject lines for our emails. We're going to, every time you guys come up with the best comments. You'll help with our blog titles. Congratulations, Cynthia. Please go ahead and email us at info@softflexcompany.com and let us know what your shipping information is, and we will get your free strand of these adorable owls out to you. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out with me today. Happy Monday. I will see you next week. I'll see lots of you next week because we're going to be doing the Customer Appreciation Week. So we will have videos 3 times a day, and it'll be Sarah and I will be switching on and off with the hosting duties. So it'll be a lot of fun. Be sure to check us out. The kickoff is at 11 a.m. on Monday Pacific time. And this week we don't have a live sale, but we still have a video with Sarah on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time and a video with Joyce on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So stay tuned for those two, and then join us again for a wonderful Customer Appreciation Week next week. You can't just send us newsletter under the title Hooters. Always a pleasure. I agree, Maria. Thanks, everybody. I will see you all real soon. Have a hoot of a week, and be sure to check out our Just Batty design kit, free with your orders over $99 or more. That's good until tomorrow. All right. See you later.